Good day, mentors, and welcome to our class in Ed 319, the teacher and the school curriculum. Today, in this session, I'll be discussing to you about Lesson 5 based on our course pack, the processes and models of curriculum development. Last time, I discussed to you the different characteristics of teachers being curricularists. So now we'll be exploring the four um, items in the process for curriculum development and the different models of curriculum development based on curriculum experts. So the first item in the curriculum process is curriculum planning. Curriculum planning considers the school vision, mission, and goal. In the bigger perspective, when we plan the curriculum, not the minuscule curriculum, but the entire curriculum of a university or of a school, we have to consider the VMGO. So it is our curriculum should be anchored with the school's vision, mission, and goals. In the minuscule curriculum, and we know that the smallest form of curriculum is our lesson plan. So we based it in our intended learning outcomes or our lesson objectives. And these lesson objectives or intended learning outcomes are based on the competencies set by the unit. In the case for the Department of Education, for deaf and teachers, it's a Department of Education um, which recommends the different competencies or skills per subject in a in a grading period or in a quarter. It also includes the philosophy or strong education belief of the school. All of these will eventually be translated to classroom desired learning outcomes for the learners from a bigger scale to the smaller scale in the form of lesson plan. The second is curriculum designing. After planning, we go with designing. It is the way curriculum is conceptualized to include the selection and organization of content, the selection and organization of learning experiences or activities, and the selection of assessment procedures and tools to measure achieved learning outcomes. Okay, we have the plan. Putting that into documentation is we go with curriculum designing. So it also includes the resources to be utilized and the statement of the intended learning outcomes. The plan, per se, is the outline, but we have to document what we have planned. So we have to design from the selection and organization of the content, the selection and organization of learning experiences for activities, or the selection of assessment procedures and tools to measure achieved learning outcomes. So after planning and designing, we go with implementing. So what is in implementing? Correct, as implementers in the classroom setting or the learning environment, the teacher is considered to be facilitator of learning. He or she leads in outing into action plan, which is based on the curriculum design. So what has been planned and designed will be implemented. And this is the true measure of how effective we are as planners if there is good or effective implementation. Together with the learners, the curriculum design guides what will transpire in the classroom in action with the end in view of achieving the intended learning outcomes. So you may be a good planner or designer, but there would be failure in the implementation process. So again, the measurement of the effectiveness of curriculum planning and designing is in implementing. Going beyond curriculum implementing is evaluating because it determines the extent to which the desired outcomes have been achieved. This procedure is ongoing as in finding out the process of learning, and that's the formative. It's quiz, short test, or the mastery of learning, which is the summative. Along the way, evaluation will determine the factors that have hindered or supported the implementation. So the processes in curriculum development is the teacher should be a good planner. The teacher should be a good designer. He or she should be good implementers, and he or she must be good evaluators. What are the different models of curriculum development based on curriculum experts? One is Ralph Tyler. Ralph Tyler devised the Tyler Rationale, answering 4 questions. What educational purposes should the school seek to attain? And that pertains to outcome. The second question is, what educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? So what are the activities employed by the teacher? What are the different methods used by the teacher? Third, how can they be organized? From the presentation, lesson development, activity, abstraction, to evaluation. So how can a teacher effectively organize these sets of steps in order to um, have an effective TLP? And the last question, according to Tyler, is how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? Keyword, assessment and evaluation. So the first question deals with what educational purposes should the school seek to attain? So it pertains to the objectives. And the objectives or outcomes should come from the competencies. And these competencies are based on the school's vision, mission, and objectives. And the school vision, mission, and objective is basing on the administration agenda on education. So from kinatasan, no, it's an inverted pyramid. No, from the higher ups or the top management down to the minuscule curriculum, which is the lesson plan. From the point agenda of the president on education to the competencies set by a particular agency, like for example, the Department of Education, translated into smaller terms, and these are the school vision, goals, and objectives, and then to the intended learning outcomes or lesson objectives. What educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? Criteria for selecting experiences: are they valid in light of the ways in which knowledge and skills will be applied in out of school experience? So which means that what we are teaching inside the classroom, are these useful in our day-to-day activities? Feasible in terms of time. Basig akuan ka dihag good for 1 hour, but actually 2 hours na siya nga lesson. The staff expertise, facilities available within and outside of the school, and community expectations. Another word or term for feasible is possible. The feasibility or the possibility. And these components that we have to consider are time, the teacher's expertise, the facilities available inside and outside the classroom, and community expectations. Optimal in terms of students learning the contents. Are we tapping the best for our students? Are we maximizing the knowledge and skills of our students? Capable of allowing students to develop their thinking skills and rational powers. And in the 21st century education, of course, we focus with higher order thinking skills. So like for example, you do not just tell them na, okay, you are a biology teacher, and you will just say, okay, what is biology, or define biology? But you go deeper, though that's a foundational concept, but we need to go higher, especially in examination or in assessment. No for enumeration. Why? Because that is just simple recall, no? Very knowledge-based. And we are into higher order thinking skills in the K-12 enhanced basic education curriculum. Are they capable of stimulating in students greater understanding of their own existence as individuals and as members of the groups? So again, advocating the third pillar of learning, that's learning to live together in peace and harmony. So we need also to assure that there is stimulation of students' greater understanding, capable of fostering in students an openness to new experiences and a tolerance for diversity. So though we are in the virtual classroom, but it is expected that teachers will have also to go through virtual collaboration. Now, so that students can foster openness to new experiences and tolerate beauty, that there is beauty in diversity, such that they will facilitate learning and motivate students to continue learning. Are they capable of allowing students to address their needs, such that students can broaden their interests, such that they will foster the development of students in cognitive, affective, psychomotor, social, and spiritual domains? In the new normal academic setup, students are expected to be independent learners. Muna ni siya, it's the production of lifelong learners. And lifelong learners is we know what and how to learn by ourselves. That is one characteristic of our course pack or our self-learning toolkits. You have to be independent. It is self-paced. It is for self-study. It's for self-learning. And that is an experience that I would like you to have, or that you would like that I would like to encounter in accomplishing all the tasks. How can the educational experience be organized? So it could be for continuity. It refers to the vertical reiteration of major curricular elements. Reading social studies materials continued up through higher grades. Like for example, that we are into spiral curriculum, and that is seamless curriculum, which means that contents in grade 1 can be also found in grade 2, but it differs upon the difficulty or complexity. No? Like for example, in English, sa grade 4, same ra ang contents, but the difference is the complexity or difficulty. There is subject-verb agreement in grade 4. Naapod siya sa high school, but magkadaghan ang rules as to subject-verb agreement that we have to study, that we have the skills that we have to acquire for subject-verb agreement. There is continuity since we are into seamless curriculum. Second is sequence. It refers to experiences built upon preceding curricular elements, but in more breadth and detail. Sequence emphasizes higher levels of treatment. Third, integration. It unifies view of things, solving problems in arithmetic as well as in other disciplines. So, like for example, comprehension skill in English can be used for solving mathematical problems or equation. So there is integration. We need to acquire first comprehension skill in English in order for us to understand and analyze problems in mathematics. We aim for educational effectiveness and efficiency. Most institutionalized education is mass education. We want to be able to teach groups instead of individuals. And again, I'm always emphasizing this, that after they graduate, they will not be working alone. They will be in teams. Therefore, we have to produce graduates who are team players. That is why the Department of Education will always be encouraging teachers to do collaborative learning, to submit group outputs in order for them to be tolerant to diversity, to understand openness. Most education is departmentalized because we expect someone trained in a specific topic to be more likely to be able to teach that topic. This based upon the notion that workers will have higher productivity if they do the same thing over and over again, related to social efficiency theories of Taylor. So most education is departmentalized. That is why we are into areas of specialization. If you're majoring in TLE, it is expected that you have to teach technology and livelihood education. You cannot teach math because you cannot teach what you don't have. And again, that's your field or area of specialization. It would sometimes be a failure of the Department of Education na nidawat og BS Ed or BTL Ed na graduate and they're teaching physical education or MAPE. No? So, simang na siya daan. Usahay, dili mapugngan. So, unsa may strategic action used by or employed by the Department of Education, retooling of the teacher. But again, mas ari yuta mo excel if we will be teaching our own area of specialization. Generally, we arrange educational experiences from easiest to hardest and from most general to more specific. There is some evidence that this is not the best way to teach, that students are more likely to learn if specific skills or topics are introduced first. But again, there is no perfect management. There is no perfect model of curriculum development. So every day is a trial and error experience of our teachers, especially that we are in the new normal academic setup. No? Tanan nga mga strategies used by the teachers are actually under trial and error method. But again, there is no perfect, there is no single best method or strategy. So every day we have to research, we have to employ unsa maging maayo no nga strategy for my class, for this particular subject, for this particular set of students. Fourth, how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? And the Tyler's rationale is summarized into these particular contents. So the subject matter, so what are the different sources? And it is given to the learners. Are these sources can be applied to our society? The tentative objectives to the screens, as to philosophy, as to psychology. The precise objectives based on test, based on discussion, based on recommendation. We select then the experiences and then we evaluate the selected experiences if we have achieved or attained our objectives of that particular subject matter. The second is Tabas approach for curriculum development as a model. So si Tyler uses 4 questions to illustrate the models of curriculum development. Si Hilda Taba uses the grassroots approach. Anong grassroots man? It comes from the pinakaubos. And she improved Tyler's rationale by making linear model with 7 steps. And one of which is the diagnosis of learners' needs and expectations of the larger society. Simply saying, we go with the diagnostic exam. We need to conduct needs assessments so that we can diagnose unsa may kinahanglan sa ako ang mga bata, unsa may expectation sa larger society or sa community. Second, if we have identified the needs and expectations of our students in the larger society, we formulate now the learning objectives. Meaning our objectives are based on the students' needs. It is based on the society's expectations. Third, we select now the content based on the objectives. We organize the content. We select the experience. We organize the activities. And we determine what evaluation tool are we going to use. Same ra gud siya sa kang Tyler, but it is more specific because there are 7 steps kang Taba. Kang Tyler, question 4 man siya, and there are 4 major questions. Taba also wanted teachers to be primary curriculum developers. Her advocacy was called the grassroots approach. It starts with identification of needs from the students, not from the teacher, not from the school, not from the as a whole, no, the holistic form of our society, but it's one member of the society, and that is the student. Third is Galen Saylor and William Alexander's model of curriculum development. Same with Tyler, with 4 steps, no, 4 items. Kang Tyler, it's in a form of questions. Kang Galen, it's more of the domains. Okay, curriculum is a plan for providing sets of learning opportunities to achieve broad educational goals and related specific objectives for an identifiable population served by a single school center. So one is we identify goals, objectives, and domains. So curriculum planners begin by specifying the major educational goals and specific objectives they wish to attain. So it's objectives, and they are present sa previous nga models. Each major goal represents a curriculum domain such as personal development, human relations, continued learning skills, and specialization. The goals, objectives, and domains are identified and chosen based on research findings, accreditation standards, views of the different stakeholders. So these are the items that should be first identified based on, say, Saylor and Alexander's model. Curriculum design. That's the second. Designing of a curriculum follows where appropriate learning opportunities are determined and how each opportunity is provided. Will the curriculum be designed along the lines of academic disciplines or according to student needs and interests along themes? These are some of the questions that need to be answered at this stage of the development process. Unsa man gyud akong i-appeal? Unsa man gyud nga discipline nga akong i-integrate? What particular needs and interests should I address? Third is implementation. A designed curriculum is now ready for implementation. Teachers then prepare instructional plans, the minuscule curriculum, where instructional objectives are specified and appropriate teaching methods and strategies are utilized to achieve the desired learning outcomes among the students. And the last is evaluation. Same siya sa processes no, of curriculum development. There is planning, there is designing, there is implementing or implementation, and evaluation. The last step of the curriculum model, according to Saylor and Alexander, is evaluation. A comprehensive evaluation using a variety of evaluation techniques is recommended. It should involve the total educational program of the school and the curriculum plan, the effectiveness of instruction, and the achievement of students. Through the evaluation, curriculum planner and developers can determine whether or not the goals of the school and objectives of instruction have been met. Okay, we have four items or categories as how we take the process of curriculum development, and there are three main models for curriculum development based on curriculum experts: Tyler, Taba, Saylor, and Alexander. Remember that the curriculum is merely a vessel to teach skills. We need to go further. We have to see to it that we will be producing lifelong learners. Thank you so much, everyone. And that ends our session for today. Refer to fls.ctu.edu.ph for the capsulated notes and exercises to be accomplished based on the deadline set in our subject based on the course pack or our self-learning toolkits. Thank you and good day.